Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about NBA Youngboy. Now, it looks like there's been some late developments in his case, man, and we ain't even at trial yet. It seems like NBA Youngboy's case and what's been going on as far as the back and forth in court has been highly publicized, and a lot of people are talking about it. One particular person who's been talking about it and covering it every step of the way is a guy who goes by the name of Lawyer for Workers on Instagram, right? Now, I can't pronounce his whole name, but he's been out there talking about a lot of different cases. He goes on Vlad and talks about cases. And in NBA Youngboy's case, it looks like the prosecutor is upset, or either they feel like they made a mistake in the past. They feel like they need that evidence that was put out there against NBA Youngboy originally put back in the case. Now, I don't know what the chances of that is since it's already been taken out of the case by a judge, but that dude, Lawyer for Workers, breaks it down eloquently. Now, before we get to the clip and talk about this all hip-hop story that goes into detail about exactly what happened in court, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this NBA Youngboy case, man, and the latest development, man. So it looks like there was a story that was put out there by allhiphop.com just a couple of minutes ago, man, maybe even like an hour ago. And the headline says this. It says, government desperately wants NBA Youngboy's hard drive to convict rapper. Now, for those of you who forgot, NBA Youngboy's hard drive, or the hard drive that was confiscated at the scene where he was arrested in Baton Rouge outside of a music video shoot that he was playing in with a whole bunch of people. Well, that hard drive got thrown out of the case. It got suppressed. And the judge thought that was the right decision. And it looked like a good look for NBA Youngboy. I'm pretty sure his team was excited about that because without that, what they really got, you know what I mean? So obviously the prosecutor wants that put back in the case urgently, you know what I mean? So let's talk about where the story starts off. It says, prosecutors seek to overturn a court ruling suppressing video footage of NBA Youngboy in his ongoing gun case. Now, somebody who broke this down was that guy, Lawyer for Workers, on Instagram. And what I want to do is play the clip of him talking about exactly what all this leads up to and means.
Youngboy update. Federal prosecutors in Louisiana have filed a motion for reconsideration. Basically, they're asking the judge to run it back. They're saying, hey, judge, you know how you threw out that evidence with the videotape showing Youngboy holding these guns? We're going to need you to run that back. Two big takeaways here. One, it shows you how important this evidence is. The prosecutors think that they need it. They're going to fight for it as much as they can. First, they'll go to this judge, ask her to reconsider her decision. They might even be able to appeal to a higher court. The second point here is it's very shocking, the argument that the federal prosecutors are making when asking the judge to reconsider. What they're basically going to her in their papers and saying is that, hey, we kind of messed up. We meant to argue one thing, but we forgot. And I know you already issued your decision, but can you go back, look at the stuff that we wanted to tell you the first time, but we forgot to, and now based on that, let us use this evidence. Look, I don't know what the judge is going to do. I expect a quick decision. We'll probably see in like 2 to 3 months what the judge is going to do.
Okay, now you heard in that video a couple of things. So basically, he said that the prosecutor in this case is trying to run it back. They want to go back and say that, you know, something that we tried to tell the judge or tell the court before, we didn't include. And, you know, that kind of was our bad. So we want to include that and get this hard drive and that evidence that's been suppressed back in the case. What that tells me, without being a lawyer, without ever giving legal advice, because I'm none of those and can't do either, right, is their case must be crumbling, man. Like NBA Youngboy's case must be looking real good if they're going back to the judge begging to have some suppressed evidence put back into the case. Now, I'm not sure how often this happens or what the long drawn out process is, but it looks like somebody made a mistake and they trying to correct that mistake so that way they could try have a better case against NBA Youngboy. And NBA Youngboy's team, I'm pretty sure they're going to be fighting this. And in the all hip hop story, they talk about this. They said this. According to documents obtained by All Hip Hop, prosecutors say they didn't bring up two key points in the proceedings of the original ruling. The government believes these arguments invalidate NBA Youngboy's case for suppressing footage, which allegedly shows him in possession of a firearm. All right, so that's basically, you know, rehamping on what the guy said in the video, man, the Lawyers for Workers do. And I hate to keep calling him that, but I don't want to mess his name up. You know what I'm saying? Now, It also says this in quotes. It says, Kentrell Gaulin has no Fourth Amendment property interest in the videos as they were commissioned by a limited liability company named Big 38 Enterprise. Now, I'm assuming Big 38 Enterprise is NBA Youngboy's company that he has with his brother or with his artists and everything like that, right? Now, prosecutors argue, in quotes, Gaulin has no Fourth Amendment privacy interest in the videos because they depict conduct exposed to the public. Because Gaulin does not have a protected property or privacy interest in the videos, he has no standing to compel the extreme remedy of suppression. This court should thus reconsider its ruling despite the United States' failure to adequately bring their issues to the court's attention before issuance of the ruling to avoid a miscarriage of justice. So in all that legal jargon, it sounds like they're basically saying we made a mistake. We wanted to add these two things in that we forgot to put in there. Now, if I'm incorrect about that, let me know, man. But that kind of sounds like what the other guy was saying as well. Now, it also goes on to say this. It says, a court previously ruled NBA Youngboy maintains intellectual property interests in the footage because he commissioned the videos, but the prosecution claims that's not the case. Now, in quotes, it goes on to say, the only evidence about who commissioned the videos is the evidence that Marvin Ramsey was paid by Gaulden's company, prosecutors say. It was thus the company and not Gaulden who commissioned the videos, assuming that commissioning of the videos created a property interest in the commissioned party. The property interest here vested in the corporation, not Gaulden. So they're saying that since his company purchased or had the rights to the videos because they paid the camera guy, I think this was, who was also pulled over, the guy Marvin Ramsey. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure he's the one with the camera, the one they got the SD cards and, the drives and everything from. They're saying since the company that Gaulden owns paid, he doesn't have those same rights as an individual. Interesting, man. Prosecutors cite Louisiana law, which says a corporation is a separate entity from its shareholders. Under the law, shareholder interests don't equate to ownership of the company's assets. So they're saying since he has a company, I'm not sure if it's a limited liability company like a LLC or whatever, or what it is, but they're saying since that's separate and it acts as its own separate entity, anybody who owns a company will tell you that he doesn't have the same rights over that property. It's the company's property and not his as an individual. So, that's interesting. Now, I'm going to skip through some parts, but it said this as well. It says, the prosecution also counters one of NBA Youngboy's original arguments. The government claims it won't be violating his privacy, even though the hard drive may contain intimate footage of NBA Youngboy and his family. So they're saying since it may contain intimate footage of him and his family on there, meaning like just don't take too far from that. Don't think too much into that, y'all. Meaning it could be just personal footage of just him kicking it with his family. You know what I mean? Which, is protected under privacy laws, I'm assuming, based on what this report is saying. They're saying that, that argument is null and void based on what they're trying to file and claim. Now, it ends by saying prosecutors conclude that the compelling evidence of Gaulden's brazen criminal activity should not be excluded from trial because Gaulden's personal rights were not violated by the searches and seizures at issue. It was Gaulden's burden to prove standing, and he did not do so. The video evidence should therefore be admitted at trial. So they're saying they want that evidence back in trial, man. It sounds like that was the basis for their case. And NBA Youngboy, if he can keep that evidence out of the trial, it might be looking a little bit better for him. Now, that was a tough read, but man, y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think that the prosecutors messed up in this situation and now they're trying to backtrack and get that evidence put back into the case because that's how they feel is the only way they can convict NBA Youngboy? Or do you think that this is just the court proceedings as usual and these things go back and forth all the time and we'll see how it turns out in a couple of months? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.